Hello there, what is going on everybody? Today we are going to be exploring some of the new changes in Star Wars Armada with the recent big major points revamp that we got from Atomic Mass Games as part of their final update. Or is it final? I don't know. I'm not convinced that it's actually the final update. We'll talk more about that in another video, but there's so much in this update. I feel like this is going to have us looking at things and revisiting things for at least another year. I just feel like there's so many different new fleets to explore, and I wanted to start off with an Imperial fleet utilizing some of those changes. So that's what we're going to do today. I'll be using Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder today. It has been updated, so if you are a Ryan Kingston Fleet Builder user, you'll want to clear your cache if you haven't done that in a little while to make sure that everything comes up with the correct points adjustments. So for example, this 85 point victory 2 should actually show up as 80 points. Again, 5-point reduction in the victory 2. That's a good place to start because I think victories are now going to have a little bit stronger place at the table in modern games of Star Wars Armada. So that's what I want to do. This is going to be our flagship today. We're going to look at a couple of things that got adjusted in points, and we're going to try to take advantage of some of those things, and try to have a list that is going to be exploring an awful lot of that. And we'll be using a list like this in a upcoming battle report as well. So let's start things off with the new title as well. Well, actually, not really new title, but Dominator. One of my favorite titles ever for this, but it also was very, very expensive. It used to cost 12 points. Now it's down to 7. So, and that's another cool thing I like about this is you can click on it, you can see like that the old version of the card, and then then you see the overlay of the 7. So that's a cool thing. Now, this is, in total, this is a 10-point reduction to this type of ship. Now, here's a Victory 2 that can spend 2 shields to add 2 additional blue dice at close or medium range, but we want this ship to be a threat at all ranges. So at this point, we're going to be doing a lot of stuff that we would do to a Victory 2, and that is, why run a Victory when you could run an ISD instead? Well, now you have a couple extra reasons because the points have gone down a little bit. This is a good thing. Disposable capacitors. This is, I think, a crucial thing because this one can be smaller medium ships only, and this is one of those upgrades that almost exclusively goes on the Victory 2. It feels like it was made for the Victory 2. And again, I think the Victory 2 is like one of those deals where it being the first ship for Star Wars Armada, it's one of those ones that needed a few fixes, and so I think disposable capacitors was like a fix for the Victory. And we're also going to put Gunnery Team on there. We get a big turn with this guy that we can fire at 2 ships up to long range, throwing all those blue dice at them. That's beautiful. We won't be able to take advantage of Dominator when we're at long range, but disposable capacitors gives us a big edge on the one turn that we're at long range, and then presumably after that we'll be at medium or closer, and that's when Dominator kicks in. So this gives us threats at all ranges. Since we're going to have blue dice at long range, this is a great platform for heavy ion emplacements. This is going to be that critical that is going to work beautifully. It allows you to basically do 3 extra damage for a blue crit. If your opponent is fully shielded, then you're going to take down a shield on this on the side you're shooting, and as well as both adjacent sides. It is inexhaustible though, so you can't use it for every shot, but it is incredible. We're gonna make this our flagship. I'm going to put Darth Vader on here. Darth Vader also recently came down in points, so this is a great time to re-explore Vader, although he probably works slightly better in slightly different fleets than the one that we're going to build. He is a commander that's got his value in every fleet. He is a pretty much universally good, and since we don't have a whole lot of re-rolls with this fleet, although we will have some, Vader's going to give us those critical re-rolls, especially when we're looking for blue crits, and of course we do have red dice pretty much everywhere that we're going to do with this fleet. So it's a good opportunity. And then for our turbo laser slot, I am going to put quad battery turrets. The Victory is already a slow ship, and if you're coming in slow also, that's no problem because again that allows me to maximize my advantage against you. At long range, I'm going to have disposable capacitors. And then if you come in nice and slow, then you'll only be at medium range of me on the second turn. And that's where I really make my money. This ship does its best work at medium range. And so if you come in faster, sure, you may threaten me a little bit more, but I'll get even more blue dice on you. So that's also a great thing. So I like that. And we're also going to put Hondo Onaka on this ship because we can use extra tokens throughout the fleet for various different things. It just gives us extra flexibility. We are going to add a second victory. Now the victory 1 is going to come in this case. Now the victory 1 did not go down in price. The victory 1 stayed at 73. And that's okay. That's okay. It's still a good ship. It's not a great ship, but there's one thing that makes it a better ship, and that's the Harrow title. And I think this is precisely why it did not go down in price, because Harrow is a very good title. It gives it the support team. It also allows it to get a yaw of 2 when doing a 1-speed maneuver, which again, if you combo that with engine techs, you do a nav, all of a sudden, you get to do another 2-speed turn on top of that. So it really opens up incredible maneuverability for the Vic-1. But the reason I wanted to include the Vic-1 here is that since Harrow can move around, well, I like to put Ozzel on Harrow, especially if my commander is not Ozzel. But it's a great opportunity to put this newly revamped Black Die upgrade expanded launchers. Now we saw both rapid reload and expanded launchers got a big significant points decrease. In this case we're going to go with expanded launchers. That's going to give me 2 extra Black Die in my front arc. So now if I can, I've gone from one of the slowest ships in the game to now one of the fastest ships in the game, potentially, especially for turn 1, because I get a free move right away. And then I can do a speed 2 move with a nav followed up by an engine tech move, also with 2 yaw. The Ozzel speed 1 maneuver is also going to be influenced by Harrow, so I'm going to get lots of yaw, lots and lots of. I think I get a total of like 6 clicks in this case, and I did the math one time. If you wiggle and you do this kind of stuff, you can get even farther ahead. So you can really put a big threatening on people with something like the Victory 1. So this is a fun one. So there's definitely options there. Now for this guy, we're going to put Ordnance Experts because that gives us some Black Die rerolls. It's a good option. Now we do have Vader, so we don't really need Ordnance Experts, but if sometimes you want to fish for those black crits, especially with that many black dice, and so it's not a bad idea to have extra rerolls. We can do our Ordnance Experts rerolls first, and then do the Vader reroll second if we're looking to do something like that. And I will also add a Turbo Laser, and I'm going to put XI7 on here. This one I think works well if we're not doing special black crits. XI7 takes advantage of the extra black dice and the higher damage ceiling, and then saying, hey, since almost every ship in the game has a redirect, we're going to limit your redirect capabilities, and that's a beautiful, beautiful thing. So those are 2 ships that we've got so far. We are going to we'll add a flotilla for activation padding and also for CommsNet. Give us a little bit of extra stuff because I probably don't see myself doing engineering too much with these guys. I know I love to concentrate fire. I always talk about concentrate fire. But I may need to hand out some tokens with this one. I'll have to nav a lot with this, especially with the Vic-1. And during those times that I do want to concentrate fire, I can have the Gazanti pass me over a couple of extra nav tokens just in case. So spread those out throughout the fleet. This leaves us room for one fourth and final ship. I'm not putting any squadrons in this because I don't like squadrons. So I am going with the Venator. And the reason I'm going to go with the Venator, the Imperial Venator 2 class Star Destroyer, this one has the Bombard keyword, which does mean that it is now the only Imperial ship that can take full advantage of the revamped linked turbolaser towers. I do appreciate the change that was made to linked turbolaser towers. Here is an upgrade that was used nearly all the time, and and it really reduced the variability of turbolaser upgrades that people were taking. And now all of a sudden, with it being restricted on its effectiveness for the red die reroll, gives only works if you have Bombard. I think it's going to cause a lot of people to really be able to take something else, and I think that's a beautiful thing. So with linked turbolaser towers, yeah, we're going to have that on the Venator. So this is a little bit of extra rerolls for this ship, even without Vader. So again, but I want this ship to be able to do pretty well. So what can we do with it? Now, one of the things we can do is we can outfit this ship as a dedicated anti-squadron boat. We can put things like ordnance pods, and we could put flechette torpedoes. And what that combination is going to do is really nice. Flechette torpedoes lets you spend a black crit to toggle a squadron's activation slider to the activated side, basically stopping somebody else from even being able to activate. This is especially good if you are trying to get first player. It is a really nasty thing to be able to do. I love it. We also have ordnance pods, which is combos greatly with flechette torpedoes, but ordnance pods allows you to do a whole extra anti-squadron attack, although you'll only use one black die, and that's another good reason why we're going to want ordnance experts on here. Now, I'm not going to actually run the flechette torpedoes and ordnance pods, but I think that's a solid option for this fleet. The reason I'm not running it is I think if I go up against a big squadron build, they'll just go after everyone else. And so I'll still just be left with just this one guy left all by himself. So that's kind of part of my reasoning there. But still, this is a definite option. What we're going to do here in this case is we're also going to use the expanded launchers. We're going to have basically two big front black die pools, but we're going to add external racks on that too, which is going to give us a tremendous potential dice pool. If we can get into that front arc, we're looking at, if we can get you a close range, starting with 6 and adding 4, we're looking at 10 dice, 6 of which would be black. This is why, you know, Link Turbo Laser Towers can help out with the red. Ordnance Expert can help out with some of the black. We've got Venator to help out with even more of that. We got a lot of rerolls in this. We can pretty much guarantee a really strong hit with this setup. This brings us to 399, and that is the fleet. As far as objectives go, I'll go with Most Wanted because we do have a cheap Gazanti. So Most Wanted will just, you know, allow me to say, all right, my Gazanti is my objective ship, and I'll pick your biggest ship as my other objective ship. For these, for yellow, I'll go with Fleet Ambush since that will take advantage. It'll take my squadron, my lack of squadrons, and I won't suffer deployment disadvantage for that. And then for navigation, we'll go with Solar Corona. Always my favorite when I don't run squadrons, which is most of the time. So I'll run Most Wanted, Fleet Ambush, and Solar Corona as the objective. So this gives us a good look at, you know, some of the Imperial changes that were made, and ways to kind of try a lot of those out and really see what expanded launchers can really do for us, really see what Dominator can do, and using different turbo laser upgrades. You know, we have quads over here, we have XI7s over here, and so it doesn't always have to be linked turbo laser towers. We don't always need rerolls. We have plenty of things that can mitigate our dice on this. You know, commanders like Vader would help. Other factions like Rebels have things like Home 1, you know, and a lot of other like ways to, you know, mitigate a bad red die. And so Intensify Firepower, another great option. So can mitigate your blanks. All right, so that's gonna do it for this video. Let me know what you guys think down in the video, the comments, and yeah, that's gonna do it. I'll put a link to Ryan Kingston's Fleet Builder in the video description, just in case you have been living under a rock and weren't familiar with it. And here is what is that? That's the actual list. Let me move it over a little bit. There we go. So there's our untitled fleet. And that's all of the stuff. Not a whole lot to it. No squadrons. Obviously, it's got some risks. It's not necessarily designed to win everything. It's designed to test out these new, some of these new changes and see what they can do for you. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments section below. That'll do it for this video. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Big thanks to my patrons. You guys are out of this world and help make this whole channel possible. I will talk to you later. May the force be with you. Live long and prosper. Be excellent to each other. Party on, dudes. So say we all, and always wash your socks.